Welcome back to the Pierce Dispatch. I'm here with driver Nathan Spray from Richardson Fire Department in Texas.
Yep,
Thank you for joining
you
me.
bet.
So, your sales rep shared with me that you're a newer Pierce customer. And I was wondering, when you came to Pierce for the first time, did you have any initial thoughts walking through the facilities?
I didn't know what to expect other than people that had been here before that have done this, told me how it was awesome. And I love cars, mechanically inclined things, and I was pretty blown away by just the layout, how big it is, every step of the process, the assembly line, just wild. No idea, 400, trucks at a time. So it was definitely more than what I expected to see.
Sure. So, like when you went through like fabrication, I'm sure that was your jam. Did you,
Yeah,
when you had
yeah.
like the welding
Yeah,
or?
spent a little time watching the paint room. Really surprised, I guess, by the auto sander and how it loads and unloads sandpaper and just goes, yeah, yeah, wild. But all of it, they need a part. It's this number shelf, this, letter aisle, just organized. Really cool.
It's really fascinating. That was my favorite part too, is learning how it just operates. Everybody touches every truck in
Yeah,
some.
and them having a time block to do their job. And if they don't get it done, they follow that truck and get it done. Really neat.
So you're from Richardson,
Mhm.
Texas. Can you tell me a little bit about Richardson Fire Department?
Yeah. So we have approximately 160 personnel. We run 6 stations. We will, in the next 5 years, open a 7th station. We're landlocked, so we're not growing out. We're just getting busier. We run, we're so our next Pierce will be a truck, which is already on order being built. We've been a Quint concept. Now we're trying to move to a true truck concept.
Okay, I got you. So you're in right now picking up a HGRP. Can you tell me about this build?
Yeah. So we're currently on an engine. This is a little more expansive in room for things to carry. We got to add some really cool features that I'm sure we'll get into or talk about, but things that will help us. We cover majority of the highway that runs through Richardson. So a big bulk of our calls are MVCs on the highway. So a lot of things that we can do to make that easier for us.
Why is it called the Hot House?
Busiest station in the city. We take pride in getting to our calls quick and anyone else's call quick. We're quicker than them. So if you'll see our engine, our logo on the side is called Scoop City. So that's if you scoop somebody in their own district. So because we run the most calls.
Firefighters aren't competitive in at
Yeah,
all.
no.
Man, okay. So at the Hot House, you're getting this new HGRP. You're driving it. What's your favorite part of it?
Oh man. I would say I what I hope is my favorite part are the few changes that we made just for this. Engine 4 just got theirs, and we're basically the same with some changes that we addressed for our district. It sounds silly, but we put a 250-pound hopper for oil zorb up in the top of the engine, and it's got a chute that comes down to the ground with a valve. And so as we run car accidents all day, we refill that thing. Right now, we just put it in a cabinet. This will allow us to carry more than what we'll need and refill as needed, but a lot quicker access and a lot cleaner, hopefully not spilling bags of oil zorb everywhere. I'm pretty excited about that. And then just the engine itself, I think from talking to those guys and driving it a couple times, we just got back from our drive to Lambeau, and it's comfortable, drives good. It's well built, and you can see that on the assembly line. The chassis is bigger than normal. I'm excited for it, longevity to be there and be good.
Yeah. So you talked about that oil dry hopper. Is that where it's like a tube that comes down in the officer's side rear compartment? I've seen it there.
Yep. So ours is on the driver's side rear compartment.
Okay. Yeah. I've also seen them like it's almost between the wheel well where you can pull it out in like a drawer. But this way you can fill from the top.
Right. Yep. So it's in one of the coffin boxes. So it's inside of one of those, and it's its own aluminum box. And then next to that is probably 6 or 8 bags of storage room. So we'll keep plenty on hand, and it frees up a lot of the space down in our compartments that we're always in and out of.
Yeah, sure. So you talked about a little bit how you're in a really busy city. You're constantly running calls. You're in the scoop city. You're beating people to calls. So how will this engine support you in that?
I think we get to utilize the best of all of it, right? So we can set it up to run. We carry our extrication tools, cutters, spreaders, all that on a tilt and deploy, but we also utilize. It lets us do that. We're all paramedics, so we're able to run it as a paramedic engine, and then of course, structure fires and whatnot. So I think this setup makes it really versatile for what we do. Being the way our city is, just every district has its kind of anomalies and different things, but ours, we're on the highway a lot, but we also run a ton of medical calls.
Okay, sure. So it has both firefighting and rescue equipment on there, and it sounds like everything in between. So how do you find a balance when you're laying out like your compartments and what's going to go in it to have space for both activities?
We try to plan most used, easiest to get, right? So some of the things that we don't use a ton or don't need immediately, EV blankets are the new thing that everyone's starting to carry for, when there's the Tesla fires and that won't go out. Those coffin boxes, I was a little worried about things just going in there and getting lost because they're so big, but it allows us to put things like that and then free up space in the bottom to have quicker access to the things that we use more or need immediately.
Yeah. All right. So, Scoop City, when you arrive on scene, what advantages do you gain from having a pumping, water supply, and rescue tools all in one place?
We don't have to wait on the next apparatus to do our job. So we're set up to basically at whatever point we arrive, which is typically going to be first because we're Skip City, we can do whatever. So we have fire tech if we're venting a roof, if we are doing search, it doesn't matter. We have everything. So the HDRP allows us to carry everything to be able to utilize our task. And I think, we don't have to wait on a truck. We carry ventilation fans, we carry saws, we carry everything we need to do whatever job. We're not waiting on another piece of equipment.
So, for the crew that's operating on this HCRP, do they require any specific training so that they can operate it efficiently and effectively?
Not any more than all of our firemen. We do have the truck, which is at Station 4, which is our rescue station, and they do a lot of the high angle ropes, water, things like that. But as far as for our station, everyone is trained the same and versatile across the board.
So, as the driver, what does your full crew look like when you go to a call? Do you have 2, 3 other people with you?
We run 4-man engines. So we have the officer, the driver, and 2 guys in the back. If we're first on, the officer and the 2 guys will go in. Of course, I'm outside pumping. We are fortunate that by the time we're making entry, usually someone else is there to stick to the 2 in, 2 out. But we've got plenty of guys all the time. I mean, 4, 5, 6 minute response, and we have 4 engines there. So it's there's plenty of people.
Well, that's a luxury I think a lot of apartments don't have.
Well, even around us, paid career departments are running 3-man still. They haven't gone to 4-man staffing. So, and that extra person makes a huge difference. We also 2 ambulances on a structure fire, and those guys will gear up and are utilized as firemen. 1 ambulance for if there's anybody there that needs medical, but on an ambulance, you will still fight fire.
So, last question. Do you have any advice for any departments looking at getting an HCRP?
Any advice? I again, I think we've covered this, but I think it is just well utilized. I think there's lots of storage. For us, it just has everything that we need. So it is the customization. You can take it as far as you want or have the funds for, I guess, but you could literally do anything you want, from, any option. We moved a lot of things, put different buttons, different places. There's, pump panel, location and layout. There's just thousands and thousands of options. But I think in our situation, and I would assume most places, you're going to have to run different trucks to cover different things, right? You need an aerial for certain things, but the HDRP just has so many. The functionality is great. You can put anything you need on there, so we're excited to run it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard before. And for our listeners too, shout out to episode 8 with Chief Dan Lorenzo. He was from Belmar, New Jersey, and they talked about exactly what you were saying with the operability. You just have so much room for all of your
Yeah,
equipment and they just bring it to the scene right away.
right.
So if you want to hear more, everybody can go listen to that one in addition to this episode. But for now, thank you for joining me,
You
Nathan. I
bet.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.